You had no idea how tempted I was during these 2 days to click on these rewards. Every time I logged in, it was like the green goblin in my head telling me, you know what, just do it. The video doesn't matter, the rewards matter. And finally the day is here. And obviously, it's going to be a longer video, but don't worry, I'll put the timestamps for every relevant part. And I'll try not to do many edits. But I had to claim some rewards because they're in the mail and you have to claim them, otherwise they might, expire. But these are like the very mediocre rewards in comparison. So we got Kingdom rank number 3 in the camp rankings. This is really solidified as number 3. We couldn't get any better than this, and doesn't really matter. We got Coalition rank 2. Honestly, very close to Coalition rank 1. But, the difference is just a couple universals, not a big deal. And individual rank, I managed to be in the top 100 and actually rank 100. So I got an extra sculpture and maybe some speed ups. So I only did it because I was very close to top 100 and like, why not? Also, I got an Autarch. So Autarch, I'm happy to see these chests. And we're going to talk about Autarch a bit later. And one more rank that I didn't manage to be in top 100 is the Canyon. I tried in the very last minute to snipe. But considering I have 6 marches, and I have only 5 of them have gear, my Trajan was really naked, only had armaments on, so I'm still happy with it. And I got a lot of these coins for next season, get the blueprints, and whatever else I need. Now, before we go on to other achievements, first I want to get rid of the Alliance mobilization. So we ranked 16. We didn't really have any specific threshold to reach, so I would say 16 is pretty good for, these type of pushes. So we got food. Definitely the choice chests. I'm going to take the boots because I'm going to get the archers. I need more tiers on the archers for sure. One more. I don't need any sculptures as of now. So we're going to be focusing mostly on blueprint for archer boots. Legendary choice chest and the transportation stones because we need them to actually do some transmuting later in the video. And there we go. We got 7. We got 2 transmutation and we got 9 of these blueprints fragments. All right, pretty good, pretty good. And yeah, well, actually we were in the 93. Okay. Not bad score, I would say. Not bad. Now, this is the menu I avoided in these past 2 days as much as I could. I distracted myself with other games, and I really managed to do it. And trust me, it was not easy. And for that reason alone, I want you to like the video. For that reason alone. So here we got the shop. I already bought most of it. We're gonna do the Autarch a bit later because there's going to be some. There's going to be some discussion about it. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's see how we did. 6 times. More than 80 of them. I'm not that happy with the fighting, this KVK. I made a video about this, a recap, but bygones are bygones. Wow, I healed a lot of units. Okay. I think I spent like 5 billion resources, so it wasn't really that expensive. I almost killed 10k barbarians. Alright. Nice. We killed a total of 2.3 billion. I mean, considering the way our fighting was set up, wasn't really something to brag about, or really, we just did our job efficiently, I would say. Yeah, we didn't really heal much because we didn't have any much as fighting, so it makes sense. All right, something to be expected, no problem. All right, conquest rewards. We got 1 coin. We got another coin. We got some legendary materials choice chests, which are always good. And 1 more coin. And these are like the very, very standard rewards. And here, Yeah, we only got one. We only got one iconic crystal, which I don't really need at this point. Now, what's this? Oh, these are the leaderboards. All right, let's check the leaderboards. So healing is always going to be dominated by wind and water. They had the most consistent fighting throughout the KVK. So congratulations to these two camps. They had a good fighting. They had a good KVK compared to other camps in the KVK. So kudos. And let's see. Kill leaderboard. Let's see. I think we have Misfer here, which is kind of nuts considering the fighting. We got Rick. And we got Mystic. Top 20. The heavy hitters, justifying their roles and names. Occupation. Yeah. That's, once again, we got Rick and Mystic. You know, they just sworn things. They don't really care. We didn't have any situation where we had to like really fill farms consistently or fill troops consistently. So the most troops we got, like deaths, were actually farm troops. We're pretty at a good power. All right. Now, inscriptions. Let's check the commanders first, because right now I have Battle Ready, which is a rare inscription, and it's good enough because it also has a double inscription. So I don't need to get destructed, in my opinion. I think this is better. Next up, no, we're gonna go for Hunter. We have a Hunter here. We're not gonna change anything about this. It's solid. We might switch the armaments, but that's a story for another video. We got another Hunter, and once again, this is pretty solid. Could be better, but also good enough. And we got, yes, you guessed it, once again, another Hunter. And this is probably the worst one I have, but once again, it's still a Hunter and has the perfect health roll, which honestly infantry desperately needs. So that's why I made it. And my leadership march only has one rare inscription. And that is where our decision from the Autarch is going to be made. Now you may be thinking, how the fuck you got Autarch? You got shitty stats, and you're kind of right there, you know. But I was given to it by a friend who didn't have any need to do any more Autarch inscriptions. So he had enough hunters. He didn't really care about the other inscriptions. So that's how I got it, basically. Yes. So we're going for influential leader. And why? Why am I taking that decision? Well, once again, I have no special inscriptions on my leadership and echelon march. I'm running echelon. I want to make Philip use his active skill as fast as possible, as frequently as possible. But also this inscription allows me to catch up in some ways, at least in the very first fight, to catch up with the attack. What do I mean by that? Well, if you look at the crystal tech, oh, and by the way, crystal tech. In the first zone, I only have 1 point here. So 1 point is like 1.5 attack. And with the echelon, that inscription gives me like 18% attack, which is like more higher than the actual, this whole tier max. And I think that's a good substitute for that. And it's probably cheaper than just waiting to get the attack, and that attack will actually accumulate later on in KVK, and it's gonna make me hit harder. So I don't see a downside to this at all, and especially going to be frequently, because Philip is going to have, he already has the drums, and the inscription gives him 5% rage recovery as well, which is not that impactful, but still it will stack if I get more inscriptions down the line. And if you go here, and actually, let's see, attack formation gives me, at level 7, it gives me like 5.5 attack. So having this inscription is basically like having tier 2 maxed and having like level 8 attack formation, which is pretty significant for me as a free-to-play. So I like this idea before, but now with Philip, I can have that possibility be more relevant than it was before with Trajan, because Trajan was just, you know, basically a punch bag and wasn't that really healthy for the hospital, in my opinion. Now the tech here, I got 80 million crystals on the very last day in the morning. And if you're curious about what it looks like this. Once you reach this third part of the tech, and once you go past this, you're pretty much done. Like you're only gonna get 2 levels of color arms. You're gonna get level 2 special medicines, and marching orders doesn't really matter for me. But for marching orders, swift marching, you're probably gonna get like 3 to 4 levels, 4 levels, which is still good enough. And in the last days, I focused on this part of the tree, and once you reach this, you're pretty much there. You got 81 million crystals spent. I have a guide in the description of every video. It's completely free. I follow it every KVK. I made it myself, and I also made a dedicated threshold where you can see where is 80 million crystals spent. So use it. It's free, and it helps. It honestly helps me because I forget the order from time to time, and that helps me focus and stay on top of it, of what I want to do. Now, once again, finally we're gonna get description. We're gonna get influential leader. Done. I got 8 coins left. I have really no, since I only have the infantry hammer for coins. I already got the copy palace. I think I already have like 5 prints of this. So if I continue to buy this, it's going to be to crit it, but I'm not going to do that anytime soon, because upgrading like the last 2 or 3 tiers is going to be very expensive on materials. And the other pieces I don't use because I'm using the set pieces. So in hindsight, maybe not the greatest decision, but the decision was made years ago, literally. Now, am I going to describe this inscription right now? No. As you can see, I have an infantry armament, which has promise. And if I recall, I only had 2 stats on this bad boy right here. I had the attack, I had the health. I put the inscription, I re-rolled it, and I got this defense roll. So what I'm banking on, if I do the same thing here, it's going to be risky, but I have a feeling it will pay off. Now, ideally, I would like these be switched. I will have more health and attack, but I would say this is still a pretty decent roll to try my luck, because, you know, it's nearly like 5.9% stats. Even if I get like a very minimum roll, it's going to be like over 7%, which for me is good enough. But this will depend on the next infantry release. In this KVK, I used Philip with William. And on paper, I like the promise of this march. And I still do, actually. But the issue I have with it is extremely squishy. This pairing has literally no like defense stats capabilities or something like that. Only thing you can have is this talent right here, which is like emergency protection. But if he gets focused down, he would just melt. That is a shame, because I really like the promise of it. I use it in Canyon. I use it in Lost Canyon. And I find it to be interesting, because the way, the amount of skills you can fire off, especially after I got the drums. And as you can see, I have some infantry pieces, basically create for leadership, as most leadership, like people who invested into leadership have these type of pieces. And from the get-go, I would have more tankiness, because Philip gives infantry defense if you're using infantry. So I'm gonna be waiting for new infantry to make a pairing. So hopefully that pairing either synergizes well, has some type of buffs that can be elevated by echelon formation. Maybe some buffs, maybe some shields. But in the worst case scenarios, I can use someone like Scipio Prime. Because Scipio Prime still has a very relevant debuff. Has stats, march speed, and shielding, and he also takes less damage. That is what I kind of want from commander like Philip. I want you to be alive as much as possible so you can contribute buffing my own marches and making my whole march better. So infantry should be, 2 months away, something like that. We still haven't got Subutai yet, which is a shame. But I'm going to be more than ready for it. I'm going to show you my universals in a second. But first, let's get these boots. So we got half of a blueprint, and I got them to tier 2. Yeah, I got them to tier 2, and they're also crit. So any type, once I reach this, I'm going to have extra march speed. So I'm trying to reach level 4, tier 4, to get more march speed because my archers desperately need it. Like, they're desperately needed. I've been using Herman Primary this KVK just to negate that march speed penalty, really, because, Herman Primary actually gives you more march speed than Zug, but you're kind of missing out on the initial AoE damage. But it's a trade you have to make in order to survive and get better trades. All right, let's open these armaments. So we're opening only for Wedge because we want to get the pity system. We want it to reach level 10. I think I'm currently at level 4 or 5. So I need a lot more to make my way towards Unstoppable, which I'm going to convert into Butterfly for Cavalry probably next year. Cavalry attack. Rubbish. But once again, this is what we want. No inscriptions, only 1. Low stats. Not bad, but let's see. Archer attack, archer march speed. Nah, not ideal. Infantry health, not bad. Nah. Tremors. Nah. So the only one I'll kind of keep is this one. And the rest will be recycled. All right. My universals are here, so nearly enough to instamax the commander. So we're going to be more than prepared for the next release. More than prepared. Let's open some crystal keys for more materials. 1 Vanguard. I made a short about Vanguard set. If you want credits, this is the piece you want. And now we're going to do a transmutation. So recently I had this armament. And I honestly want to get more attack because I want to have well over 10% of attack. Okay, might be something that could be saved, but I want to have a really good set and be done with it. So I got 1 transmute left, and honestly, depending on how this thing goes, I might just use the crystal on it, but not now. So I want attack. Basically any roll will do. So let's see how we do it. 3, 2, 1. Hey, okay. All right. I said any roll, and I'm gonna be a man of my word. We're gonna take it. And now we got a pretty sick calorie set. Very happy with this. Very happy with this. So we got a hunter. We got spirited. Spirited has, I think, some synergy with the balanced. Because upon reaching 80% rage, you deal more skill damage for the next 3 seconds. And you deal more damage when it has over 70% rage. Now this 5% extra damage when it has the rage is mostly for normal attacks. But still it has a little bit of synergy with the inscription. So I'm going to keep it for the time being. And yeah. So the plan is, once the next combo calorie commander goes out, we're going to switch this formation to Delta formation. As you can see, my wish is actually 4. And I have this Unstoppable, which if I switch to Delta is going to be Butterfly effect. The Butterfly effect is almost, I would say, essential. You could get the rare inscription for that armament, but I would say Butterfly is the benchmark. And yeah, we're going to be cooking. So it's going to be taking a lot of stones. So we're going to be needing 10 stones for the special inscriptions. So we got 2 of them. That's 20. And the rare inscription costs like 3 or 5. And we have our regular inscription, which is only 1. So we're looking at like 25, 26, or 24 stones to make the switch. And I think it's going to be very doable because we get 10 of them each KVK. So by the next calendar release, I should have more than enough to make that switch. But next infantry also gives me some options, because what if they're also smite? What if I want to switch my skill damage infantry to possibly arch? That's also going to be costing me at least, well, let's say 10, 3, 16, 17. So we're looking at 25, 17. I would need 42 stones to make that switch. So that's like 4 KVKs. And depending how frequently we're going to play KVKs, I can make that happen until the next calorie. But until then, we're going to see. We're in a good spot. We just finished the KVK. We're going to be, as you can see, my resources are actually higher than I actually went to the KVK. And the only thing I really use this KVK are the speed ups, which is like maybe 600. No, not 600. I had like a year worth of speed ups when you accumulate the healing and the universals for the fighting. Now I have, just over 310 days. And, it's not going to be an issue for me to recover. I'm in a good spot with commanders, equipment, armaments. I'm pretty happy with it. And we're going to be having some fun in 2025. And with all that said, what do you guys think about my Autarch choice and rewards in general? Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.